Going to hit record and then I'm going to share my screen here. And hopefully you can see it okay. Great. Okay. So I actually like to bring it up like this because I feel like we've been doing a whole thing. So I am so incredibly excited to just welcome you guys to our team. And how this is going to work is I'm going to go through this little presentation, but if and when you have questions at any point and you're on this live, please just type it in the chat bar and I'll be able to see those. And then if you are watching the recording of this, then obviously we can chat later. But I don't know about you guys. I remember as a new coach being so scared and so nervous. I never really did social media before I became a coach. I was that girl who would scroll through the Facebook feed and I'd maybe post like once a month and maybe a picture of like Caleb and how cute our family was. But the thought of like posting a selfie, let alone like a sweaty selfie, like literally made me want to pee my pants. And I remember I posted like my first like coach announcement post at midnight because I didn't want anyone to see. And then I cried. I told my husband, I'm like, what have I done? But if you're feeling any of those butterflies, like I promise you that's normal. And I promise you that if I can be successful at this business, anyone can, because I was working full time. Like I said, I'm an introvert. I didn't do social media. All that people have like definitely were mine, but I got to a point where I was so much more ready to change and ready to grow, and this ended up being the biggest blessing. So what we're going to do tonight, and if you, like I said, if you have questions along the way, just you on right now, Kate, like just pop in, let me know. But I really want to give you kind of an overview of what to really do to get started right and to feel like you have a sense of how the business works and all of that, and just kind of to know your first goals. And then we can go through, like in the new coach mentorship, really we go through there like social media and all of those things. But the very first thing, and what I love most about this business, is it's working on yourself. Everyone always says like, I don't want to be that salesperson. I don't want to be salesy. And I think that sales happens, that like spammy thing happens when people don't genuinely believe in what they have to offer, and in the value of what they have. I think anything can be tied back to sales, doctor's offices, and education. Like people are always making choices. And so this whole business is about why someone should pick you. You didn't sign up and all of a sudden Beachbody takes over your life. It's like, no, Beachbody is a facet of what you as a person have to offer. And it's really, really powerful to have someone watch you along your journey. So as a coach, the very first and most important job is to fill your own cup. It's to be a product of the product. So get to know the products, get to love the products, tell people about them, help them do the same, and you just wash, rinse, and repeat that. And that's literally as simple as it is. It's not a complicated, we work hard, but it's not a complicated business. And there's, people on all different things. And I'm even thinking about like the little clip, Kate, that you just sent me of someone saying like, you're the last person who needs health and fitness products. Like there's all these like misconceptions. There might be some people who are starting as coaches and really nervous because they have 50 pounds to lose, and other people who are like, look on the outside like they're in really good shape. But the power is in sharing your story and why these things are helping you. So for me, my platform is all about like, I'm not really the bikini in the bathroom selfie girl. Like I don't attract a lot of college age spring breakers. That's not my tribe. But what I'm passionate about is, as a wife and a mom and a person of faith, is saying like, how can I take care of my body? And what does it look like to have the energy to run with my kids, to be able to feel pretty with my husband, and like those things, which I know are so much more powerful than skin deep. So being able to articulate how working out and eating healthy and fitting it into your life is making you a better wife, mom, human, is really, that's what it's all about. So this whole business is not complicated. The couple things, and you're going to feel at the beginning really overwhelmed. Sorry, I'm like choking on something. Really overwhelmed. You're going to get bombarded with all the resources. There's so many more resources than there was when I even started as a coach. And it's amazing because you literally have everything at your fingertips, but it can almost be overwhelming and feeling like you have to know it all and learn it all at once. And that's not the case. So what you want to do is really dial into the resources you have, and you'll start to learn which things to like tune out and go to when you need the help, and which things to like keep tabs on. So the very first thing is your coach online office, and you'll start to poke around there more. But when you got started, you should have kind of set up your websites and kind of seen how that works. So that is a really great place for you just to kind of keep track of your customers. And the more your business grows, the more time you're going to spend in there. We have our team pages. So you've been added to the Pineapple Empire page. That is my team that I run. And anytime you bring on coaches or anything, they are welcome into that team page. And that's kind of your hub for news. If I'm sharing like, hey, Transform 20 is about to launch, like let's chat it all through. And then you will be added to our larger team, the Dream Team, which is the #1 team in the country. So there's about 5,000 people on the page. It's massive, but it's a really great resource as well. So we plug into their calls on Monday nights. The one you were on last night, Kate. So that's my upline coach, and that's a really great resource as well. So those calls are on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time or 9 p.m. Eastern time. They are always recorded. So if you cannot be on something live, I know you work. I was never able to be on stuff live for a really long time. And so they are recorded and you can go back and listen to them. And I used to catch up on those calls like on my drive to work, or like when I was working out, I would just like turn the volume down, turn the call up. So kind of fitting it in when you can. We have little team chats on Saturday mornings. If you're able to jump on those where we kind of brainstorm and mastermind. And then Google and YouTube will be your best friends. Every like really good coach out there has tons of resources on those. So when I very first started, I had great training. But I also at night would like sit down and like watch all these top coaches and like their stories and be like, okay, I'm going to get inspiration from that. So there's a lot out there. The Beachbody FAQs are on the website. So if you ever have questions about like a program or a product, those are a really great first place to go. And then there's the National Wake Up Call. And this is actually really cool. It's Monday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time. They always have really great content from coaches who are succeeding in the business, whether they've been around for a really long time or maybe a brand new coach who just like came out of the gate and crushed it. And they're giving like very practical, tangible tips and tricks. They are always recorded in their podcast, which is actually kind of cool. So if you can't catch it live, again, like they're 20 minutes long. I'll like put them on when I'm getting ready or things like that. So those are really good things just to plug into. You can always, of course, come to me, but I always like you guys to know what's out there for you just in terms of resources. And then there are the 4 vital behaviors. And so you're going to see this in the new coach training, but this is what our business is built on. And it can be really easy, again, to get sucked into like looking around at what everyone else is doing or feeling like you're not doing enough or being like, well, maybe I need to start a blog if I don't have one, or like master all these things, and it can be overwhelming. But if you want your business to grow, these 4 things are what you can focus on every single day. And when I was working full time, this is what I did. And now that my daughter doesn't sleep and I feel like it's almost harder to run a business home full time, these are what I focus on, where at the end of the day, this is all I've done. That is enough. And so it is kind of what we talked about, like being proof the products work. So actually utilize them, like pick a program, do it from start to finish, do the nutrition plan, like learn how they work for your body, try things, know how to be able to talk about them. Share, connect, and invite. This one is one that I think people get really nervous about because it's like, I like it for me, but what will they think? But it's really just sharing your story. And we're gonna dive into how to do that. People like to talk to other people. And somehow when you start this business, all of a sudden you forget how to have a conversation. And it's really not that hard. Like you just talk to them and invite them, to join your next group. So for girls who are watching me, and we go into this more, but like I just sent out about 20 messages on Instagram to girls who I've noticed have been watching my stories the last week. And I just like, hey, thanks so much for, following along. I know it's a hot mess here 90% of the time. What are you following me for? If it's fitness, then I can go right in and invite them. And those that usually don't happen overnight, but it's just getting that conversation going. Personal development is huge. And this is the one, honestly, that I put on the back burner for a really long time. And I felt like, I'm a good person and I do my devotions and I go to church and I don't know, I feel like I'm happy, not depressed. And for some reason, I thought that people who did personal development were people who like needed help. But this has actually really changed my business. And it's something that is going to get you through a lot of really hard times. You are going to have seasons in this business where you question why you're doing it. You are going to have seasons where you're tempted to quit. You're going to have seasons where people say no, or coaches quit, or customers quit. And it's just kind of hard. And so this really gets you through, but also what I love is the content to actually talk about. So people will ask me like, well, where are you getting your post ideas from? A lot of them come from what I'm reading in personal development or listening to. And so even 10 minutes, whether it's a podcast, and we have tons of suggestions, podcast, or if you're even like can read a book, I think if you are wanting to start, like Girl Wash Your Face, if you struggle with any sort of like self-belief, is a really good one. Have you read that one? You're like nodding. You just started it? Yeah, it's so good. So that one, amazing. Following Rachel Hollis, like she's actually our keynote speaker at Summit, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here, but like we all got to go hang out with her this summer, which is going to be really fun. The 10X rule by Grant Cardone is really talking about like moving your business forward, and just, it gives you kind of that kick in the pants that you need to really chase your dreams. And so I remember I had a 4-hour drive I had to do for a work trip, and I actually was really behind on listening to the National Wake Up Call. So I listened to 4 hours worth of the National Wake Up Call, and I got to my hotel at midnight, and I remember calling my husband and being like, I was about 6 months into my business. I was like, Ben, this is the best company ever. And I like just lit on fire. And the one thing that every single one of those calls over the 4 hours, they had talked about changing their business was personal development. And that was the thing that I wasn't doing. So all these people are really successful in doing it. Maybe I should do it too. And it's been the best thing ever for every part of my business and my just personality and life. Recognition is the fun one. So celebrating things. And that is every meaningful achievement that contributes to success. So that could be your own journey. Like, it doesn't always have to be a physical transformation. Maybe you, like, I used to hate meal planning, and I celebrate the fact that I do that now. Maybe it's that you got your husband to eat cauliflower rice. I'm still working on mine. Maybe it is that your mom, jumped in with you and lost some weight, or you were able to help someone, or, another coach on our team had success and you want to shout them out. Just shouting people out, not only behind the scenes in like challenge groups and emails and messages is really affirming, but also publicly on your Instagram stories. Like, you'll see if you follow me enough or other coaches enough, I'm constantly trying to shout out my customers and my coaches, not only because it's fun to be recognized, but also it gives you the validity that people are looking for, of like, okay, she's getting some people results. And so as a new coach starting out, you can shout out people from within our challenge group. They don't have to be your customers. They're a part of the group that you are a coach in. And so you just kind of getting in that habit really can help people say like, okay, she has something to offer. And whether it's fitness or the business, that will be really helpful for me. So those are the big vital behaviors. Your first goal as a new coach, and we are going to go into this again in new coach training, is to help 3 people. This is kind of my benchmark. And so when I signed up as a coach, my upline said, Abby, if you really want to grow your business and not just like sort of be a hobby coach, but you really want to grow your business, your bare minimum benchmark standard is to help 3 people. Beachbody doesn't have any quotas. Like, if you don't help 3 people a month, you're not kicked out or fined or anything like that. You do your business how you want to do it. But 3 new people getting started with a challenge pack would be Shakeology and a program. Basically, helping 3 people sign up the same exact way that you did. That's really all that it is. People get all weird about it, but it's like, reaching out to, hey, to your best friend and saying, I'm doing PiYo, or I'm starting 80-day obsession. I'm really excited. Do you want to do it with me? That's as simple as it is. And so that the reason why you want to do those 3 people is it gives you what is called Success Club. And Success Club has a couple benchmarks within Beachbody. And basically what that does is every single month that you hit Success Club, you start racking up points to free trips. So I have earned in the last 3 years trips to the Dominican Republic, to Mexico. We actually didn't go to Mexico last year because there's a bunch of Zika virus stuff and I didn't want to bring Paisley down there. But in April or March, I'm going to get to take my family on a cruise to the Bahamas, which will be really exciting. So like, that's literally just for helping 3 people a month. And so I know for me, that was a big incentive of saying like, I want to be able to take my husband and my kids on this trip. Like, how cool is that just for doing what I should be doing? So doing 12 consecutive months of that earns you that. Doing 3 consecutive months, 3 out of your first 4 months as a coach. So since you signed up like at the end of the month, you don't have to panic about this month, but like December, January, February, basically would be kind of what you guys are looking at. That gives you your free ticket to Summit. And Summit is like, I can't even tell you what a game changer it has been for my business. I probably would have quit if I didn't go my first year. But it is the big gathering of Beachbody, and you get to do really fun stuff. You get to work out live with like all the trainers on demand. They have sessions. Rachel Hollis is going to be the big keynote speaker there. They have sessions with amazing coaches, and none of it is like how to sell Shakeology. It's really personal development, helping you be a better leader, helping you mentor people. They do like it's like the Beachbody Biggest Loser thing, and they like bring people up who've lost over like 300 pounds, and everyone's crying, and it's like just amazing, and you're surrounded by other coaches, so it's really fun. It's in Indianapolis this next year, and we will have team hotel rooms. Like I think there's about 8 girls from our team who are going, and we all split the cost, and it's just, we'll do some dinners out, there's parties that you can go to, and it's just a ton of fun. And I'm a huge introvert, so for me to say it's fun, it's a big deal, because I'm like, give me the couch and sweats and Netflix and I'm happy. So that one is a really good one, especially your first couple months as a coach, to get really started there. So one thing that I think is important to do is that you will start growing your cold market. You are from the get-go going to be connecting with people. You know, you're going to learn how to like find followers on Instagram or Facebook, whichever platform you want to choose. But not being afraid to connect with your friends and family, the people who already know, like, and trust you, is a really good place to start, because they already, again, know, like, and trust you. So don't be afraid to say like, hey, I'm starting this new thing, and I don't know, I know everyone wants to get in shape in January. Do you want to do this with me? And we can do it together. And it can be as simple as that. So that is Success Club. So your very first thing is to commit to a program. I think, Kate, you picked PiYo, right? Yeah, perfect. So this is a big one. And so you are going to be able to invite people to a challenge group. You can host your own. A lot of new coaches really like to start, and we can run one together. So depending on what you want to do, we have all the resources, and I'll show you guys some of those at the end. But you will oftentimes team up with other girls from the team. So it's kind of up to you. But usually you guys will kind of start running one with me, and we can do one that starts the end of December. Or middle of December. We can kind of chat after this and see what you guys want to do. But this is an example post that I did this summer when I started or was doing Lift 4. So you can kind of see there, I'm sharing in this post. I kind of share the before and afters. And I'm sharing here not just, it's my 2-week progress. So it wasn't even a weekend. And then I have baby weight to lose still. So that's kind of, pregnancy has been a perk for my business because it gives me some transformation photos there. But so it doesn't have to be physical, but I'm breaking down, if you kind of look at this post, not just like, hey, I'm doing this fitness program, want to join me? But I break down and I say, hey, it's only 4 times a week for 35 minutes a day. So people know what to expect. I talk about, it's not about the number on the scale, but internal growth and confidence. Like, this is what my passion is for why I do this, and all the things. So you can kind of see in here, it's not just throwing up like, hey, I tried the 21-day fix and I got awesome results, but really kind of sharing why. So if it's yoga or Pilates, or, is that like really calming your mindset or giving you some space to like focus and recalibrate, and talking about that? Is it something that's helping you, like, as a mom, like, find that space for you? So committing to a program and then doing it from start to finish and sharing that journey is really powerful, because people are going to start watching you. And it's really funny. I can't even tell you how many people will not like or comment on my posts, but after I finish a program and get results will come. It's almost like they want to wait and see if you're going to quit or fail or something. And so being able to kind of mark your journey through. So maybe that's sharing every Sunday night a progress update, or your meal plan along the way, or non-scale victories of like being able to hold a plank longer, or you went on a run and had much better endurance, or, you fill in the blank. But not just waiting until you've completed a program to share, like, here's my before and afters, but really walking people through the journey. Maybe it's you didn't want to show up for your workout and you did anyways, or I like to kind of show the real raw behind the scenes, because I don't want people to think that it's easy for me, because then they get discouraged and say like, well, it's hard for me, but it's easy for it. Like, no, we just choose to do hard things. I moved that. Okay. So then your first invite. So this again is like that scary thing where you're like, I don't want to send invites. It's so scary. It's just having conversations. So my whole goal as a new coach, and again, I'm like a numbers girl, I like benchmarks, is that I could go to sleep well and sleep easily if I knew that I had connected with at least 3 new people a day, or 20 people a week, somewhere in there. And there is going to be, let me actually pull this out for you guys here really quick. Show you exactly what it is. Oh, hold on. Do you have questions on anything on this so far while I'm pulling this up? Only one on? Or is it? You're good? I'm sorry if you can hear my daughter crying behind me. She's like in the needs to be attached to me at all times. There's this cool feature on Facebook groups, if you haven't used it yet, that you can see if I can find it. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I knew I was missing something. You pulled that. This really is worth you seeing in person, so I'm just going to a tour of the back office. You can see that there. And sorry. And you can see how many tabs I have up in my thing in this. Okay, so worth the wait. So this is a really good, it's in your back office. This is also in our new coach training, but this is our business activity tracker. So this is going to break down for you literally every day based on the vital behaviors, kind of numbers. So you can say like starting 3 conversations, like that's exactly what we're talking about. Talking to 3 people, recognizing success. And what I really love about this is it has on here, like you can track everything and it makes it really, really simple. And it kind of breaks down daily what to do. And when you look at it like this, it's not as hard to kind of think and say like, okay, did I spend 20 minutes on personal development, and being able to kind of track and monitor your business and all of that. So this is something that like I have printed off. I just keep it on my computer and kind of check stuff off as I go. So whatever works for you, but this one is a really good thing is we're kind of going through this to be able to actually visualize and see. And all these things, like if you're doing all these things consistently, your business is going to grow. It's that compound effect of it coming. And so starting 3 conversations, like this is kind of where I want to chat through this. So 3 posts to social media. I do probably between 1 to 2. Honestly, I don't do a ton. When I started as a coach, you had to do like 5, which was so overwhelming. But now with Instagram stories, it's a totally different ballgame. So if you are at work during the day, what I would recommend doing is having a post in the morning and then maybe in the evening. And in the middle of the day, like if you're at work, don't feel like you have to be on your stories, but just have a few throughout the day. So I always try to make sure I'm documenting behind the scenes of like, okay, did I talk about my workout, show a couple moves? Did I talk about or show my shake? So even if I'm not talking about it, I might have it. And I'll talk about it every once in a while. Am I showing like when I'm working the business? So people know that like I work the business at 11 o'clock at night watching the Great British Bake Off on my couch because that's when I have time. So showing the behind the scenes of like, okay, how are you fitting this in? So doing your post, it doesn't even have to be this like whole giant paragraph that's beautifully written and thought out. It can be those like little behind the scenes things talking about how you're sneaking something in on a nap time or your daughter's climbing all over you or whatever it is. So that would be the 3 posts. Starting conversations. This doesn't have to be an invite. It can literally be like, hey, Kate, I like loved, I've been looking everywhere for like boots for Paisley, and, you know, Margot looks like she's small too. Where do you get those? Literally just starting conversation, like just being a professional friends maker. Or again, with girls who are new watching my Instagram stories, I'll just shoot a message and say like, hey, I really appreciate you following me. Are you following me for fitness or family or food stuff? Like, I'd love to know what you're looking to see. No invite, just kind of opening that door of conversation. And then daily inviting people to your next challenge group. And this is all something I'm always doing too. Is like if I am talking or sharing consistently about what I'm doing as a coach or with business or fitness, I always have something to invite to, because every time people comment on those posts, I can just shoot them a message and say like, hey, thank you so much for the love on, you know, my transformation post. I really, you know, it's not easy putting those out there, but I love sharing my journey. Have you ever thought about jumping in, or do you have goals? And all these scripts, like we have them saved, but those are kind of some examples. So it doesn't have to be scary. It's just kind of opening those doors of conversation, and it all links together, because if you are sharing consistently about stuff, you're consistently going to have things to invite to. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So one thing that I always do is like, you're not reaching out to close a sale. You are, you know, always ending with a call to action, like making sure that the conversation keep going. One thing that I always did as a new coach, and I was like, would word vomit on people. And so we will talk through this. I'll add you to our little new coach pod where we kind of walk through this, but don't feel like you have to be the expert. Literally just go through conversations with people like, cool, what are your goals? Awesome, you want to lose baby weight. We can totally do that. Do you have workouts that you like? It doesn't have to be like, cool, and you're going to go do a challenge group and then you're going to shake all of you, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can just kind of take it a step at a time. And I'm very happy to help. So you can screenshot conversations along the way. And that's what I'm there for. We have files on our team page and Google Docs with all sorts of scripts on like every objection you can imagine and all sorts of invite examples, but make them your own. Make sure it's your voice because people can tell if it's a copy paste message. So that's not cool. So being authentic is really important. Don't be afraid of the cost. It's amazing. I looked at a spin class the other day and it was for 2 months of a spin class. It was more expensive than a challenge pack for Beachbody for a year. For 2 months of personal training, it's more expensive than a challenge pack. And so people will always have objections about the cost, and that's just part of life. But part of our job is to really break down and show the value of what they're going to get, and that this isn't going to just be a diet that they crash and burn on, but this is going to be a lifestyle and that it's sustainable. And so we're really there on our team page to help with those conversations. Don't be afraid to follow up. I literally just signed a new customer tonight. I've had to follow up with her 7 times. And she keeps like wanting to jump in, but forgetting to respond or not responding, but she's watching all my stuff. And every day I'm like, hey, Kayla, are you ready? And she's not really, and she signed up tonight. I'm really excited to have her. So if people are interested or reached out to you or haven't told you no yet, you absolutely have the power to keep following up. And when, especially people just keep watching my stories and they never respond, I'm like, you're choosing to come to my page and watch my stuff. So I have the right to keep nicely inviting you to things because clearly something's interesting you. Your second goal as a coach is to rank enhance. And so we're going to talk more about this next month in December, but this is really a big one. And I don't want to get into all the details of it, but it's basically you plus 2. So right now you're an active coach. This is an emerald coach. So it's having one coach on each side, and you don't have to understand the legs and all of that yet. But this is a part of new coach training. You're going to see it in there. So I want to mention it here. It unlocks the income potential in this business where you start getting what's called team cycle bonuses, where you start getting some extra money from Beachbody coming in. And so what I did as a brand new coach, because my coach kind of explained that there's a perk to having your husband right below you, because that's another business center you can run, is as soon as I made a sale, I signed Ben up as a coach, actually with Pio. And he was my very first coach on one side. And then I took my very first customer and signed her up as a coach, a preferred customer discount coach. Basically, they don't have to work the business. They don't have to do anything. They can just get the coach discount. It's the same price either way for them. And there's lots of examples on how to say this to people. So don't feel like you have to understand it right now, but know that this is a really, I think, within your first month of your business, a really important goal to hit, because you're also going to unlock this potential in the business and start growing your things. And so your very first customers will want to get signed up that way. So reach out to myself, or for anyone else, we're watching the recording, your upline, and we can get you started on that for sure. So sharing your journey on social media, this is going to be easier or harder for some of you depending on your background. But for me, it was not easy. Like I said, I didn't do social media and I had to learn. I think, Kate, you have a heads up because you have a really beautiful Instagram feed already. But looking at this, like these are some screenshots actually from this summer from my feed, and not all of that is Beachbody. And it's pretty because of Instagram, so the aesthetics matter. Depending on if you're doing Facebook or Instagram, it will vary a little bit, but you can see in there, like I share my faith, I share my kids, I share my workouts, I share, there's kind of a theme. So if you look and you watch my stories or read my posts, you're gonna see that I consistently am talking about faith, family, fitness, personal development. You're gonna see me talk a lot about, like, I like chocolate and ice cream. I like watching Friends in the office. Like, you'll see things kind of pop up here and there. Beachbody is not the sum of who I am. It's just a piece of kind of the platform that I'm using. And you're going to connect best with people who can relate to you. So make sure you're showcasing that. And if it takes you writing down like 5 to 7 things that are hobbies of yours, what do you like to do for fun? What are some funny quirks maybe that you or your spouse do together on a date night? Or are you a mom? Are you working like those things are part of your story. And so share those things because people are interested in them. So this would be an example of that. And you are going to find that it is consistency and patience, which is your big game changers. This is what most people don't give this business time. And I will tell you, when I signed up as a coach, I remember telling my husband that I was going to go all in for 3 months. And I would do whatever my coach told me. If she said jump off a cliff, I was going to jump off the cliff, because that way I could quit in 3 months without feeling like I would second guess it. Like I knew that I'd given my all, and clearly I did not quit. But I didn't get paid for the first 3 weeks. My first paycheck was $50, and I remember I was so excited about that. And the next week I didn't get paid at all. And my next paycheck was $90, and I was so excited about that. So there's been some bumpy rides, and it's one of the things I tell my new coaches now: give it a year. Be here in a year. Go to Summit. Give it a year, because you're going to go through some ups and downs. And it took me a solid, I would say, 6 months before I felt like I kind of found my voice on social media, and before I really felt like I started to understand how the business worked. Because it's just like starting a new job where you're going to have to learn the lingo and where the water cooler is and who keeps the staplers where. Like, it's that kind of a thing. So you got to give yourself the grace and the time to know, especially if you're only working this business 30 minutes to an hour a day, that it's going to take some time for you to build that momentum, to build that consistency. So to not get discouraged. But here's an example of one of the very first posts that I did, and heaven help me that anyone ever wanted to sign up with me for that. And then a post that I did, this one was from, I think, this summer. So you can see, I mean, it got a little better with social media. You don't want to just $10 off. Like, that's the salesy stuff that nobody wants to see. And in here, I like have in all caps, and if you follow me, you know my daughter doesn't sleep. It was like, Paisley slept through the night the first time in 13 months. And then it was talking about my August boot camps enrolling and why I was so excited about that. This one has 3 likes. This one has 45 likes. There's kind of a difference. And don't get discouraged if you don't get a ton of likes and comments either, because I could put up a picture of Caleb and Paisley and it'll get like 100 likes. And then I could put up something about my business and it'll get 2, still to this day. But people are watching, even if they're afraid to like or comment. That was me. I just creeped on my coach for 3 months and never, ever liked or commented on anything of hers, and then signed up one day. She had no idea who I was. So you have to give it time, but learn how to work your social media in a way that is attractive to other people. So, and again, Kate, I know you're good with this, but for other people listening, like, learn how to take a picture with some natural lighting. Don't always have your hair. I mean, I have my hair in a ponytail in this one, but like, mix it up, like let it down one time or do different angles. Don't just always do the sweaty selfie, like arm's length photo. Look at other accounts, whether they're coaches or bloggers or anyone who inspire you and you like to follow, and see what their style is and start to emulate that a little bit. Not like copy their stuff, but say like, okay, I am drawn to light, bright, and airy, or bright colors, or you fill in the blank. Like, that sort of thing is going to help your account grow as well. Your fitness journey is like your business journey. So it doesn't happen overnight. You have to track your fitness journey to see success. You know, you're going to have to take measurements and photos and that. Same with your business. You're going to have to use that business activity tracker. Your success is going to be twofold with your fitness journey. It's tied to fitness and nutrition. You can't now have one without the other. And in your business, there's going to be some big public wins like rank advancements and income goals met and all this stuff. And then there's going to be the private wins where it's like, you were really brave in sharing your journey or in posting, or maybe you've just seen a growth in confidence, or you had someone message you something that meant the world to you. As soon as you stop, your results get farther away. I know for me, like whenever I would stop working, like running, I hate running actually. I'd be like, and I'd run consistently and then it would stop for a week and I'd just die coming back. I'm like, how on earth? Like, it's so easy to lose momentum. And it's just like that with this business. If you take your foot off the gas, not asking you to like burn yourself out, but if you stop posting or you just like take a whole week off and just are like, I'm having a rough time, I'm just going to be done, it's really hard to get the momentum back. There's going to be seasons that are easier and seasons that are harder, and we can strategize through it, because I don't want you guys to burn out by any means. But just know that like your consistency is what matters. And I think for me, that's been the biggest key to success. I've shown up every day, even on the days that are not easy. And I'll just own that, like, you saw a Pinterest quote because that's all I had in me today, but I still showed up. Comparison is a thief of joy. You know, we can look at the Victoria's Secret models or the girls on Instagram or whatever and feel insecure in our own bodies, or we can just enjoy and celebrate who God has created us to be and just be that and own that. And same with our business. And this is something that I really struggle with because I'm really competitive, and it's easy for me to look at girls who started around the same time I did and had faster success than I did, or, just really get distracted with that. And as opposed to putting on the blinders and saying like, okay, this is my life. This is my situation. Like, I have a daughter who doesn't sleep and I don't have it all the time in the world. So how can I do the best that I can with what I have, with where I'm at, and what does that look like? And so just really owning your story. You are going to be able to connect with people that nobody else can. Your story, your journey, your life will connect with others that I can't reach. And that's really our goal, is to help empower women or guys, but to live healthy and fulfilled lives, to be able to have that confidence and that belief, and to use fitness and nutrition as a tool to do that is really, really inspiring. And don't overcomplicate it. It's simple. It's just like wash, rinse, and repeat, and sharing your story and encouraging others to do the same. So this one is kind of a breakdown for you guys of really what kind of income looks like. So my goal for you guys is to make a minimum, hopefully, of like $800 in your first month. Like, that would be like a goal, but it's basically kind of looking like if you help 3 people your first month, 3 people, and this is kind of breaking that down for you. And this would be on like the slow track of like, okay, I'm only going to do the bare minimum. But I want you guys to make back any investment that you made right away. And so by hitting Success Club, by, helping those 3 people, not only are you going to start making commission, but you're also going to be a quarter of a way to your free vacation. You're going to have Success Club locked in the bag for coming to Summit with us, and it'll just be really, really fun. So this is a really good kind of just graph to look at and kind of get a sense of like what you're looking at. And again, this is on, I would say, like the low end, because this is kind of the bare minimum of that. And then your next steps are going to be just to start going through New Coach University, which I know some of you guys are already signed up in there. Commit to your program, commit to the nutrition, start sharing your journey. People relate to the journey more than the destination, like I was saying. It can be discouraging to look at someone's before and afters and feel like, oh, well, of course it's easy for her, as opposed to seeing the ups and downs of you juggling work or motherhood or life or whatever, and just having you share that publicly. I can't even tell you how many moms I've been able to connect with this last year from having a really precious, beautiful, sweet, but really hard baby and toddler. She's not been easy. And sharing kind of the like unfiltered view, especially in my stories, like they see the dark circles under my eyes and that she doesn't sleep. I think that's relatable because it's another mom gets it and another woman's there and she's not giving up. So you get to be that person. You get to be that beacon of hope to someone that kind of shows the reality, and you don't have to sugarcoat everything. You can share the real struggles, but also share how you're turning this into a positive thing for you. People relate to that and they resonate with that. Don't get overwhelmed. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Like, you're going to ace it and it's going to be amazing. So that's really it. That's the breakdown. It's simple. It's not complicated, but it's really just about that consistency and authenticity and reaching out for help when you need it. So we have a couple minutes left. Do you, just you on right now, do you have any questions on anything either that I didn't cover or would be helpful to clarify at all? If not, that's totally fine, but you can unmute yourself too if that's easier. Yeah, it's like a ton. You don't think so? Okay. Okay. You don't have to if you do. So what we're kind of with the next steps from us is you're already in our team page. I'm actually wrapping it up tonight, but I have our new coach, like a new coach boot camp. So I'm going to add you to our challenge group so you can actually see the behind the scenes of that. But we have a little new coach boot camp for all you new coaches where you're going to be going through the new coach training. It's sort of self-paced. You can finish it tomorrow. You can finish it in 2 weeks or whenever you want to. But for the next 3 weeks, we're going to kind of handhold you through like, hey, here's the post I did today and why, and kind of help give you some prompts as you're going through stuff. And that will be a really good place for you to ask questions. So if you have conversations that you're like, how do I respond? You can screenshot them, share them there, because I'm sure everyone else will be in the same boat. So there are about 4 of you, I think, who are going to be starting all at the same time. So that'll be kind of fun because you'll be able to kind of see each other too. Like, you don't feel like you have to be the new kid on the block. So you will get plugged into that tomorrow. And then we can just kind of run. And my whole goal for my team is, number one, know that I am here for you and just let me know what you need. Like, message me, don't be shy. I'm here for you. And if I don't respond, I will. It's usually because you're screaming your head off. And number 2 is I am here to meet you where you're at. So if you want to walk, you walk. And if you're like, I'm overwhelmed and I need to take my foot off the gas, that is okay. If you want to be the top 10 coach next year and be $1 million earner, and like, I freaking will run with you because that's where I want to be too. So I'm going to treat you guys and give you the resources as if you want to be the top coach, but there's not pressure for me to do that. So just let me, you know, like I'm in it for the long haul, but I know that people have different situations and things in life. So don't feel like you have to. But I will always kind of present the next opportunities for you guys because I just see so much potential in you guys. Let me show you one last thing, just because I think it's important for you to know that these resources are here. Again, these are linked in our team trainings, but in our team page, let me go to it here. You click on the banner, and I'm actually doing a little bit of housekeeping in it, so it might look a little bit different this week. But if you click here, where it says click here, on this page, it has some really helpful things. So it actually has our team training linked. The Beachbody Champions page has weekly training. It's amazing. So you can request to join that. Like there's a lot of just like helpful like links and stuff. But this very first one, this one is kind of our gold mine. And it can feel overwhelming, but it's really, really amazing. So taxes, social media tips. There's a whole thing on personal development if you don't know where to start, or meal planning, like all sorts of things. And some of it, like I said, I'm going to be doing some housekeeping, so I'm going to be combining some things. But when you get to the point where you're ready to run your own groups, we have, guess what? Well, if I can find it here, that's not the right one. Challenge, we have like basically a whole challenge group script with like all the challenge groups things already done. So you can just put your own like spin on things, but it's already written for you. So right here, yeah, like we've got like our new challenger guide and whole boot camp guides and things like that. So there are a lot of things in here in the scripts. We have ones for handling objections when people say no, like if it's price or whatever, like just really great things to kind of help you get conversations going. How do you do follow-ups? All of that. So this is a really, really, really great resource in here. And then also posting in our team page is really helpful. Like don't be shy. Even if you just signed up yesterday, you are just as much a part of this team as anybody else. And it is your team page to use. And so the more you guys use that, the more community and stuff you're going to find. So this is just here if you need it. It's a pretty cool thing. And I am constantly adding to it. So I am constantly throwing in things like if I had used an email that's really worked really well, I will throw it in there. I have ones like what to send after someone expresses interest. Here you go. Like just to help you have something to go off of. So that's pretty helpful. And is there anything else? I know it's late for you, so I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for jumping on tonight. I'm going to post this in the team page, and I will definitely follow up with you. We can chat about your person. I'll respond to your message, and we can go from there. Sound good? Okay. Bye, Kate. Thanks for jumping on. I'll talk to you soon.